Lake Michigan is one of the largest freshwater lakes in North America and home to one of the strangest discoveries. Under the surface of Lake Michigan lies a mysterious small arrangement of standing stones laid out in a rough circle, with numerous other standing stones placed round the outside in a seemingly random pattern.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for more science, space and tech news to share with you, and I came across this over at Indy 100. Yes, strange Stonehenge discovered in US lake that's 5,000 years older than the British landmark. This should be interesting. Now, there's much we may never know about our earliest ancestors, like why we started to walk upright and how we managed to create structures that seem to defy the engineering capabilities of the time. Now, Stonehenge remains one of these great mysteries, with experts around the world divided over why exactly the prehistoric monument was built. Now, to add to this age-old confusion, it has emerged that a similarly enigmatic stone structure has been found beneath the waters of Lake Michigan in the United States. Now, not only that, but this underwater creation is around 5,000 years older than its British counterpart. The site was discovered in 2007 by a team of archaeologists led by Mark Holley, a professor of underwater archaeology at Northwestern Michigan College. And Holley and his colleagues were conducting a survey of the lake bed when they chanced upon a series of large stones arranged in a circular pattern just off the coast of Traverse City, Michigan. This should be interesting. Wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Imagine discovering that. Holley later admitted that the discovery, made at the depth of around 40 feet or 12.1 meters, was completely unexpected, that he and his team were initially unsure of what they were found. Yeah, that's interesting. That's not that deep, is it? Like 40 feet. 12 meters is not a great deal of depth. It's interesting. However, analysis soon suggested that the stones, some of which weighed up to 3,000 pounds, around 1,360 kilograms, had deliberately been arranged in a circular pattern by humans, Medium reports. Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video, so you can pop in, check out the embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you like. Makes for a very interesting read beyond the main article, believe me. It's quite fascinating. Now, this pattern is about 40 feet in diameter and features an inner circle of stones measuring around 20 feet in diameter. Now, the stones, which are all made of granite, found locally in the area, are estimated to be around 10,000 years old, thereby making the formation one of the oldest ever discovered in North America. And yet, whilst the Lake Michigan stones are relatively similar in size and shape to the monoliths of Stonehenge, their origins are a lot murkier. Now, whilst they do seem to form a perfect geometric shape, they aren't stacked or connected in the same way, scientist Rob Nelson explained in an episode entitled American Stonehenge for Discovery UK. And while there is evidence that the prehistoric tribes roamed to the Great Lakes for thousands of years, very little is known about them, he added, stressing that he hasn't seen anything remotely resembling this formation in the archaeological record. Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, there's so much that we don't know. I mean, there's a lot that we do, but there's just so much that we haven't discovered yet. It's absolutely fascinating. And I'll leave the link, as I said, to the main article below the video, but I'll also leave a link to this 7-minute video here for underwater Stonehenge found in Lake Michigan. And I'll leave that there so you can pop in and check it out. Now, we do have a little video here, a little shorter one, that will give you a little bit of background on that underwater Stonehenge, and we'll carry on the conversation when we come out the other side.
Lake Michigan is one of the largest freshwater lakes in North America and home to one of the strangest discoveries. Under the surface of Lake Michigan lies a mysterious small arrangement of standing stones laid out in a rough circle, with numerous other standing stones placed round the outside in a seemingly random pattern. In 2007, while searching for the remains of sunken ships, scientists discovered a stone structure at a depth of 12 meters in Lake Michigan. The monument or Stonehenge of Lake Michigan, as it's come to be known, was discovered by Mark Holley, the professor of underwater archaeology at the Northwestern University of Michigan, and his colleague Brian Abbott. The circle is estimated to be around 9,000 years old, but there are various drawings on some of the stones, and one is of a mastodon, a large elephant-type animal that died out over 10,000 years ago. Carbon dating stone man-made objects can be very difficult, as the stone is likely already millions of years before it was even touched, and since there's no bones or tools at the site, it's difficult to get a definite date for when it was built. But two things stand out when it comes to dating, and that its location and the mastodon drawing. The Ice Age ended just after 10,000 BC, and during this time sea levels were much lower than today. It would have to be at least 9,000 years old in order for them to have built it on dry land in the first place, and unless someone finds some Native American scuba artifacts, it seems that it wasn't constructed when the area was underwater. The pictures and person who discovered it seem reasonably credible, but there are those out there who think the whole thing is set up. Since the location is a secret and the owners don't want people visiting the monument, it seems this one is going to sit on the back burners for a while, until either someone gets permission to visit it.
Well, that was absolutely fascinating, wasn't it? As I said, interests me. If it's similar to Stonehenge, was it the same? Was it built by the same people? And how did they get to America? Or if they didn't get to the Americas, right, and they are indigenous to that area, this is really interesting, because what this opens up is questions of how did, similar structures get built on different sides of the world with perhaps groups that never communicated with each other. Look at the pyramids. That interests me a great deal. Again, there's probably a logical explanation for it. I'm not a scientist. I still find it fascinating, though. Nelson spoke to a man called Hank, whose ancestors, the Anishinaabe people, were among the first to inhabit the region. Now, Hank believes that his prehistoric hunter-gatherer forefathers, who settled in the area following the last ice age, placed the stones there for a sacred purpose. Now, in Anishinaabe culture, we refer to stones as animate objects because they come from the mother, the earth, who is alive, he explained, adding that the monument's presence in the lake is proof that his people have been there a long time. Well, they certainly have been by the sounds of it. Meanwhile, Holly pointed out that the area was not underwater 10,000 years ago and that communities had indeed settled on the exact spot where the stones had been laid. Yeah, well, you expect it. A little difficult to sort of lay those stones underwater, I would suspect. It would have been a wonderful place to live, near the coastline, close to resources, transportation's easy, the archaeologist told Nelson. However, he went on. 5,000 years later, water levels rose, flooding the Lake Michigan basin. There's a thing I have with climate change. People are banging on about worrying about sea levels rising. It's been going on for millennia. We know that Antarctica was once tropical. So when I look at things like this, I go, man-made climate change, oh, it's accelerating. No, I don't think so. I am an old school environmentalist, though. I don't believe in, I want clean air, clean water. And people who bang on about climate change often go, we need to get electric vehicles running. Everyone has to have an electric vehicle. First of all, the amount of pollution and the amount of human abuse that goes on with getting the rare earth metals and everything else to get your electric vehicle batteries, what are you going to drive, is terrible. I mean, look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, for argument's sake. I mean, you've got warlords there abusing villages in mines to extract this stuff so the Chinese can then, and rape is used against some of the female villagers to get them to keep working in the mines, right? And then those rare earth metals go to places like China, and China alone, what was it, 200 or 300 million more tons of coal in 2022 alone to fire up the coal-fired power stations to make electric vehicles so we can drive around in them with being morally superior about climate change with a Black Lives Matter sticker on the back of them. I mean, my God. Come on. What do you think? When I was growing up, the earth was going to freeze. And then global freezing. And then the what was it? the ozone layer. Ridiculous. We got rid of a 50 million bloody sunblock. And then it was global warming and the Earths were going to rise, all the seawater was going to rise and we'd be dead by the year 2000. It's simple. Don't pollute the place. Look for alternative sources of energy that are clean. Other than wind and solar, which are completely, as far as I'm concerned, completely useless. You know, look at the Canadians. The Canadians have gone nuclear, and some of their nuclear power stations are tiny and efficient and produce very little waste. Absolutely fantastic. We've got to look at something like that if we do want to, you know, if you are going along those lines. It just seems to me to be completely ridiculous. Every 5 years they're revising it further and further. You know, first it was 2030, then it was, now it's 2035, and now it's 2040 before the planet implodes. And now why is it that all these signs are being changed all over Europe? You know, they've gone from 2023, you know, because of climate change, the planet's going to die or something. All of a sudden, they're magically being updated overnight. Fascinating, isn't it? Thanks to advanced technology called stereophotogrammetry, Nelson was able to stitch together photographs of the rocks to create an accurate 3D rendering of them, which he was then able to analyse in detail. These revealed carvings and engravings on some of the stones include an image of what appears to be a mastodon. There you go. Hello, cheeky chappy. Look at that. Incredible. Now, mastodons are extinct ancestors to elephants and then woolly mammoths that were once one of the largest land animals to ever roam North America. They stood up to 10 feet tall, or 3.1 metres, weighed upwards of 5,440 kilograms or 6 tonnes, and lived during the Pleistocene epoch, which lasted from about 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago. Yes, the carvings suggest that the humans who built the site must have had some knowledge of these mammals and maybe even hunted them. So Dr. John O'Shea, curator of Great Lakes Archaeology at the University of Michigan, noted this allusion to mastodons, combined with the configuration of the formation, which includes a long line of rocks leading directly towards it, suggests that it could have been an ancient hunting structure known as a drive lane. Yep, or a location, things you go, hunt here. You know, it's like our signs that we have these days, whether they, you know, hunting season is this. You can hunt in this area, or no hunting in this area. Now, Dr. O'Shea told Nelson that humans have used drive lanes for thousands of years to herd large groups of animals along a set path toward a kill zone, where hunters lie in wait. Now, if this is the case, the site challenges the conventional belief that early humans weren't capable of creating such sophisticated structures. Nevertheless, the precise purpose of the structure and the identity of its architects remain a mystery, much like its much younger cousins all the way over in Salisbury. Yeah, absolutely and positively amazing. Oh, this stuff fascinates me. As I said, I'm not a scientist myself. I'm just a nerd for all sciences. Gets me all excited down in my nerdy nether regions. But then again, my personal life is no concern of yours. All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video, because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care, and as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
a most fascinating thing happened.